Prepare your eyes to see the most legendary fragrance of all time. Who didn't see that coming? Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're doing so good. Yeah, you look great, hair guy. Today we're talking about legendary fragrances. Fragrances that are legendary. I don't know where I was going with that. But I wanted to do something ever so slightly different. So I tried this time not to put in just big time fragrances that kicked off a huge line because yeah, of course, we all know Aqua Deo, right? The original Aqua Deo, of course, is what I'm referencing there. And all the other big boys, we'll say. The original Le Mans, the original Boss Bottled, etc. So I do have some fragrances in today's list that kicked off a line. And other than that, we've got mainly flankers. So flankers that came out after the fact, but can still hold a candle or sometimes have surpassed the OG. All 10 are designer fragrances. So by and large, these are more affordable scents. And I have all of them linked in the description below, so feel free to check them out down there, as well as check out these codes that you can use to save yourself a bunch of money at a whole bunch of different websites. Ooh. Put this back up over here. Yeah, I mean, that's not one of the official 10, but that's actually better than all the others. So it doesn't even need to be featured with all these other scents we're gonna talk about. All right, let's jump into it. Let's kick it off. Let's see, we're starting with, Chanel's Allure Homme Sport. Allure Homme Sport is one of those fragrances that, you know, to an extent, doesn't get the love that maybe it's warranted to receive. Yes, there are some similarities between this and Versace Pour Homme and Missoni Wave, but Allure Homme Sport, especially when it first came out, is just a monster at being wearable and pulling positive attention. Yeah, it's a sport fragrance, right? Sport, so you can wear it to the gym, you can wear it outside, you can wear it casually. Yeah, that's true. But it's also a Chanel, which means the quality is very good and it has more of a sophisticated edge to it than you might expect from a gym fragrance. Has a really nice kind of creamy, sweet undertone to it with a very clean, fresh, bright, citrusy opening. Allure Homme Sport still slaps. I know that there are people out there who would say Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme is the best one, or Edition Blanche is the best one, or even that the original Allure Homme is the best one. And this one sometimes gets neglected because it comes across maybe to some people that have smelled a bunch of things as being the most basic, maybe, of the Allure Homme Sports, or Allure line in general, I should say. This stuff works so well still to this day. And I think that just as far as how many people have actually purchased and worn the fragrance a lot, that Allure Homme Sport, I would say, is probably the best of the bunch in the Allure line. Let's follow that one up with Aaro Chrome, the original. So this is one of the fragrances where I'm going with the OG instead of a flanker. Reason being, most of the time when, you know, the most important releases comes up when you're talking designers, this doesn't get featured. It's like Aqua Deo, it's Low DC, it's Boss Bottled, it's Le Mans, you know, all those, Terre d'Hermès, but Chrome always on the outside looking in. Chrome is like, I've been around for a long time. A lot of people wear me too. And everyone's like, shut up, Chrome, douche. It's not that bad. It's so rude. It is really inexpensive from discounters, which pretty nice positive, I feel like. It does have a very specific scent profile. So even if you dislike it, if you're familiar with it, it's the type of scent that as soon as you smell it, you're like, oh, that's Chrome. Yep, you know, kind of an unwritten criteria where if you start off a line, then in order to be considered legendary, you have to have the type of scent profile that is inextricably you. Like the original Amen, You smell that and you're like, oh, that's Amen. You smell, like I said, all those other ones, you know what it is. You know Aqua Deo, you know Low DC, right? Chrome is the same way. Maybe it's not to your liking, but you smell it, you know that's Chrome. Slightly metallic, but then also really clean, you know, great out of the shower fragrance. Has that kind of green aromatic flair to it. And Chrome is kind of an unheralded compliment beast. Now, a lot of you out there who have worn Chrome for a long time, you'll back me up on that. Say, oh yeah, like I wore Chrome for X amount of years and just people loved it. But a lot of times, especially if you don't like fragrances that have been around for a minute, you may smell that and think, oh no, nobody's gonna like that. You can't compete. But Chrome is, at this point, kind of underrated. Yeah, it's weird to say that because while I'm not as big of a Chrome fan as I am a lot of the other fragrances that were big around the time that this was really, you know, at its peak, I still give it a lot of respect. And there are a lot of fragrances in the Chrome line that I think are just great for the price. All right, this next one, I actually don't like a huge amount, but you know, it is what it is. It's Individuel from Mont Blanc. Now this guy, when it got hyped, like its level of hype, the full hype was behind it. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody wanted it. It's a cheapie. You know, it doesn't cost too much from discounters. It smells a bit similar to Yop and also to Original Santal from Creed. And I do think that when you post it up against those, I would rather have this for sure. So I think it's a much better buy than Original Santal, and it's way more wearable than Yop. Yop is like just asking to have it melt your skin away. You know, that cotton candy, cough syrup death on your skin, just melting it away like a Cronenberg film or something. Yeah, you don't spray Yop on yourself. Just don't do it. This has similarities to that, but not as aggressively awful. So that's something. Jeremy Fragrance really got the hype train on this one going because, I mean, it had been out for a while. And yeah, people would talk about it off and on, you know, oh yeah, Individuel, you know, it's pretty good for a cheapie. You can get it and wear it as an alternative to Original Santal, like I said. But then Jeremy Fragrance, man, back in the day, he pushed this one pretty hard. He really enjoyed it. And that's when it kind of took off. Still though, I think this stands out as a unique entry from the house. You know, it's different from pretty much anything else that they've done. And for a lot of guys out there, still to this day, for the price point you can pick that up for, it's a really good buy. Good performance, it can pull attention, and pretty unique as well, all things considered. I know I said it smells like 2 other things out there, but realistically, how many dudes out there are wearing any of those? I just realized I said this is mainly flankers, and I'm looking at all the ones I picked. Most of them aren't flankers. It's all good. We're still rolling with it. It's like 50-50. This next choice is legendary for a different reason. It is Alien Man from Mugler. So you may be thinking to yourself, dude, in what way, shape, or form is Alien Man legendary? And I will answer. Did you see the atomizer? It was pretty good. Legendary. You see the bottle? It's kind of cool. You smell the fragrance? It's a fragrance. Legendary. Okay, so with this one, everyone was really jazzed, really hyped about it because Mugler was coming out with a new line. Not only was it a new line, it was Alien, but for men. Because there had been a clamoring from people for quite a time where everybody was saying, man, why do the ladies get the Alien, but we don't have no Alien? There should be a dude Alien, an Alien for men. And then finally, here it was. Yeah, and then everyone smelled it. Mugler. Just one of the lines, one of the houses rather, that just not a lot to say about it because Amen, okay? Amen. All those flankers, people were pumped every year for the new Amen. Pure Malt, Pure Havana, Ultra Zest. Oh gosh. Even some of the ones that weren't like massive, like Pure Tonka, Pure Leather, still really good. And that slowly over time was dying out. And you see where it is today, the Amen line. Yeah. And then Mugler Cologne. Everybody loved that. And they kind of did some different Mugler Cologne flankers, which didn't really take off. And then Alien Man. It was like, oh, maybe this is gonna be like the new hotness. You know, we're gonna get some fantastic fragrances from this. It's gonna be great. And then this just came out and killed it. Any hype from Mugler died with Alien Man as far as men's releases. The flankers that came after this, all 2 of them also didn't move the needle at all. And now Mugler, for all intents and purposes, as far as men's fragrances goes, pretty pretty much dead. Will anything come out in the future that he gets it moving again? I'm sure at some point, you know, there's gonna be a new Mugler line. I would assume they're gonna kick off a whole new line anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. But this is legendary because there was so much hype behind it, so much anticipation, so much hope, and then it came out and just laid an egg. Completely sucked, nobody cared, and basically killed off men's fragrances for the Mugler line for at least a few years, so that's cool. I mean, technically, like I said, there were flankers after this, but those were fighting an uphill battle. And there's been nothing for probably, what, 3 years now, I feel like? The fragrance itself, though, it's interesting. It's like a play on a blue fragrance to an extent, but then it introduces notes like dill and a good amount of anise in there, and that gives it an interesting textural difference to your more typical blue fragrance, but the way that it smells can be very off-putting to people, and potentially come across very sour or bitter smelling, and just didn't work for a lot of people out there. Let's move on with more positivity, shall we? Aqua Deo Profundo is next. Personal love, personal favorite of mine. I was actually gonna put Aqua Deo Profundo into this video, but Profumo is getting to the point that it's really hard to find. It has been getting less and less available, Profumo. You know, over the past few months, you can still find it sometimes at discounters. Not cheap, but you could find it. As of when I'm filming this, it's nowhere, unless you want to pay, you know, eBay prices and stuff. So Profumo, I would have put here, but it's not for those reasons. Profundo, still kicking for now. So here it is. Love you, Profundo. I know I said earlier, no Aqua Deo, the original, but I still put in Aqua Deo. I love this stuff, man. It's great. It's an evolution of the original Aqua Deo. I love the green feel around the edges, that minerality that it has. It's less floral, so it comes across more, I guess, modern, masculine than the original Aqua Deo does. I get good performance, big compliment puller, just, it does everything for me that I want it to do. And it is still, so far, my favorite Aqua Deo. I've been wearing Aqua Deo since like 2000 and 2000. 2000 and just 2000. After that, Uomo from Ferragamo. Now, a lot of you out there would say this is not legendary, and I would say, good on you. I really love this one. I think for the price point, when you can get it from discounters for like 30, 35 bucks, fantastic. It lasts forever, it projects heavily, gets noticed, gets a lot of attention. Nobody else is wearing this stuff. The tiramisu in there smells great. That kind of like sweet coffee feel that it has, really nice, helps set it apart. Presentation looks slick. Love the bottle, love the Ferragamo on the side. Some people would say it looks tacky. I think it looks cool. Built-in atomizer, nice. Basically, also, I feel like a dead fragrance walking. Again, could be completely wrong there, but they've been focusing on their Ferragamo leather line at this point. You know, everything that's coming out is in the Ferragamo leather line, not the Uomo line. That's got nothing new for a long time now. And even the Ferragamo leather line, some of those are hard to find at discounters, like spicy leather. I mean, it's available at retail. So, I mean, it's still out there, obviously, just for you cheapskates. I wouldn't know anything about that. But yeah, Ferragamo Uomo, I feel like it's one of those scents that is gonna have kind of a cult following after it's all said and done. When it does finally go out to pasture and eventually becomes hard to find, it's gonna be one of those ones where the people that have it are gonna love it. Kind of like Play by Givenchy. Play and Play Intense, they didn't take off in a huge way, or at least toward the end, they didn't. Initially, they were actually kind of hyped, especially with the bottle style they had that looked like an iPod, which really dates the fragrances. But those ones, you know, they were kind of like this, where it's like initially, oh, pretty good. And then available for cheap, and then kind of crapped out and went away. And now people that really dig the fragrance, you know, they still try to wear it as much as possible. They sing its praises and everything, but I know this doesn't smell like that, but I could see it following a similar trajectory is what I'm saying. Let's go with a similar color scheme with this next one. It is Spice Bomb Extreme. Really needs no introduction. This one has been hyped a bunch. So much so that I think for a lot of people, when they hear Spice Bomb, they don't even think about the original. at this point. They just think Spice Bomb Extreme, like that's the first thing that pops in their mind. And there are people out there who will say and will die on the hill saying that the original Spice Bomb is better than Spice Bomb Extreme. I think just for my own personal taste, I'd rather wear Extreme. I like the black vanilla in there. I think it's really nice. I think it helps add another dimension. It takes a little bit of the sting off the initial blast of all the spice in there. But to be fair, I mean, it is called Spice Bomb, so it should have a lot of spice. Amazing performance, fantastic for winter. One of the, maybe for a lot of people, Mount Rushmore designer winter fragrances out there. And when all said and done, for the entire line of Spice Bomb, as I said, a lot of people just think of this, so kind of elevates it even further. After that, 1 Million. Lucky. 1 Million is, I would say, one of the biggest fragrance lines ever. I think most of you would agree with that. The original 1 Million still sells really well, extremely popular, and it gets at least one new flanker every year, if not two, when you start including now the new exclusive Middle Eastern special editions like 1 Million Golden Oud. So yeah, it's a popular line. And a lot of those fragrances in the line have unfortunately gone the way of the dinosaur, like 1 Million Privé, which pretty much my favorite freaking one. Isn't that the worst? When you have a fragrance and you're like, oh man, this is the best thing they've ever done. This is amazing. This is so good. Well, it's discontinued already? But I thought it was good. And then you've got like the suits, the suits at the company, and they're just like, it actually sucked. Fire them all, bring back Privé. Anyway, 1 Million Lucky. This one, it stands alone in the 1 Million lineup. It really does. I mean, just even look at this. It's not even gold, it's silver. Or I guess you could maybe say platinum, but it's like its own little dude in the whole 1 Million lineup. And I love that about it. Does it really smell like a 1 Million? No, but I guess yes, because it's in the line, so I guess it does. But it's this really cool mixing of warm weather and cool weather fragrance notes and ideas that give you this. Yeah, it's really good. And it gets better with age. It's one that the more I wear it, and I've said this about a bunch of fragrances, it's just kind of how it is. You kind of grow to know the fragrance or whatever, but it has grown on me so much. It smells awesome. And it was ahead of the curve a little bit, everything now has hazelnut, chestnut, whatever. A lot of nut out there. But this one, hitting us with the hazelnut, the honey, the plum, all this stuff, but then giving it a nice fresh edge, ahead of the curve. After that, we have Light Blue from Dolce & Gabbana, the original Light Blue, which I'm not the hugest fan of, but I will never deny the impact this has had. People buy it like it's going out of style. And even the newest flanker of Light Blue, you can draw a line from this to that. Like you can smell this side by side with the new one, summer vibes, and be like, oh yeah, I mean, it's basically, it's an evolution, right? Of this to that. Now in between this one and that one, there's a lot of other flankers, and some of them smell closer to this, others smell nothing like this. So it is kind of interesting, an interesting family tree where some of them branch off and go way off that way, and some go way over here, and then others are very close to this one. This has led to a lot of summertime scents out there, a lot of memories for people. As I've said before, for me, I mean, I'd probably go with Intense over this one. I would go with the new Summer Vibes over this one, and certainly Forever or Italian Love. But this is the one that started it all. And this is the one that a bunch of people still come back to. It's a summertime staple. Last but not least, Grey Vetiver, Tom Ford. Vetiver, I hold near and dear to my heart. I love me some vetiver. Give it to me in any way it comes. I'll take it. Grassy? Yes. Dry? Yes. Smoky, woody? But for a lot of people, vetiver is a little grody, a little gross, a little funktastic. Grey vetiver comes in the clutch because grey vetiver, very fresh, very easy to wear and clean. Woody? Yeah. Classy? Yeah. Good to wear casually or formally as well. It is pricey, so there's that, but it is also Tom Ford, so you already knew that going in. Nobody walks into a Gucci store and then gets surprised that their handbags are expensive, or an Hermes store, right? You already know. The name on the front just lets you know, hey, open up that wallet, thanks so much, have a good day. But Grey Vetiver, I think, is, it would be in the Hall of Fame of vetiver fragrances out there. And it's because it is like, it's just a great stepping off point for people to start wearing and enjoying vetiver. So there we go. Here are some legendary fragrances that maybe would not come up as often when that is the topic. Thank you guys for hanging with me here. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.